I'm doing it different today. All right, so I'm doing it different today because I feel like, I don't know if that's better or not. Scoot over. Um, when I'm using my phone to do the videos, for some reason I'm having some issues with the new phone. I think I'm just completely phone illiterate, I swear. But I haven't been doing all the updates on my phone, so that's probably more it than anything. Well, it keeps freezing up YouTube when I'm trying to live stream. So with that, I decided it would be so much better to do it via my new computer. I did get a new computer. It's supposed to be for work, but we're going to do a video today and hopefully it'll be okay. So good morning, Green Gables. I'm so glad you made it. Hey, Tanya. Yes, that's sunshine. I don't know how far I can take my Wi-Fi with the computer, but I'm going to show it, not to be jealous, but just to show that there is sunshine. I feel like Florida is the only place not participating in the cold. Here we go. I'm wearing long sleeve, but not for long today. It's going to be warm. It's going to get colder. I'm not going to even dare say cold, but the beautiful creek. And actually, I'll show you what we have going on right now is we have, can you see, baby chicks? Some chicks out and they're on the porch right now. I think we need to put like the metal hardware on top so it'll breathe a little bit so it won't be so warm. Probably. Yeah, we gotta fix that. Okay. Good morning. Stormy day here in South Carolina. Ooh, sleeting here now. Yes, we that's better. Which is what I have it sitting on what I'm going to talk about today. So I will tell you today my desire, my goal is to talk a little homeschool. See, there's a little hot things right here. Talk a little homeschool, talk a little seeds, talk a little shopping trip. You know, all those things. Let me go grab my coffee. I haven't gotten that far yet today. And here we go. We have 4+ inches of snow on the ground in North Alabama. Wow. Wow, like North Florida, like there's one they showed, and Florida had like every color of the rainbow and temperature gauging. It was crazy. So right now, I think, what are we looking at? Get on the weather app, see what it says. Hey, Love Garden, how are you? So today is at the moment, I'm going to go hourly, daily. So today's going to get up to 87 for us. It's going to be hot today for us. 70 degrees tonight. But then starting tomorrow is going to be down to 81, then 50. Oh, it's not nearly as low as it was going to be. Then Saturday's going to be 2 with a low of 50. Sunday's 78 with a low of 60. Monday's 80 with a low of 57 by Monday. So it'll be like 80 degrees, but it's going to rain. Well, actually, tomorrow it's going to rain all day. Has 50% chance of rain, so it's pretty much going to rain the entire day. And then we'll be back down by Tuesday. We'll be down to like 49. But that's the one thing about Florida. Like our temperature change is literally 30 to 40 degrees in one day. So you will be bundled, frozen, and then you're peeling everything off. My grown kids have that much in Mississippi near Memphis, Tennessee. Wow. So yeah, that's our temperature going today. I had to laugh. I had one of the best comments on one of my older videos. I was such a different YouTuber then, but trying to be so professional at the time. And now I'm just like, I just love live videos so much better than doing the actual videos anymore. But they were talking about being thankful that my homeschool wasn't done by noon. That it wasn't just them. You do hear me, right? I do want to make sure. Are you hearing me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I laughed at 80s. So, sorry, I'm just getting used to this computer and I'm not used to doing it like this. So I feel like I have I can see so much more than me being able to go, and I can see the comments so much better. So that's so nice. Um, so nice, but forgive me. I just want to make sure you can hear me well. Um, so, oh, that's why. Um, I get phone calls. I get phone calls all the time. So, hold on. So, all right, all right. So, anyways, I had to laugh because I was talking about getting done by noon and talking to some other people. We're having a hard time. And my kids have never been I got it done in 2 hours. Let me go do my thing. My kids like to draw it out. I mean, when they were in school and then they came home right away, they got it done on the homework. Um, and then it just slowly started to die off. I am still putting that in. Your mama chats make my day and cheer me up. I always get excited and giddy. Well, I'm excited. Thank you. Um, but and it just kind of cracked me up because I'm not bashing the perfect homeschool moms, because even the perfect homeschool moms are struggling with something else. We all struggle. And sometimes it's so easy to be like, oh, your homeschool looks better than mine. Well, I can't, I'm dismissing you. And I hate to say that's become so much of our culture. If we don't like or hear what we don't like, we're done. We don't want to hear it. We want to go bury ourselves in, so we only hear the people that say what we want to hear. And that's part of it. But we have been struggling. So I am still struggling. I have been home now since the middle of November. So, I decided to go work. And I do not regret going to the school and working. It was a game changer in my thinking. I learned so much, so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much I learned by being there. So, teaching school was such an educational thing for me. I might have gotten more out of it than the kids did. I don't know. It's a little vice versa. Um, But I'm going to tell you, the last 4 weeks, we've gotten to be a culture that has to prove themselves right rather than let others be wrong. Yeah. So the last 4 weeks teaching, half the time I was stuck to a computer dealing with COVID, and dealing with being virtual and dealing with my kids being home while trying to do too many things at once. And I was feeling my body start to break down. And so, like, that was my first indicator, like, things cannot continue as they were. My body's breaking down. But I do love being around 100 kids every day. So call me crazy, even middle schoolers. I really, really enjoyed them. So with that, then I quit. And like, I quit right before Thanksgiving. Teaching public school helps with your perspective. Absolutely. Right before Thanksgiving. Then we go into Thanksgiving mode, and then we're into Christmas. Um, oh man, Sodbuster is killing it today. Absolutely. Um, so instead of, I just like, I felt horrible about it, but I just had to just sit on the couch and do nothing for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, I did not come home to do this. And I knew, like, I'm saying that in the front of my mind, but in the back of my mind, it's like, yeah, but you need to rest, and you know that this needs to happen because you will get so sick. And some of y'all have ridden that ride with me where I'm just so exhausted. I don't make content. I don't connect. I'm just existing. And I really get hard about that. And then I come off Christmas and I'm trying to figure out my homeschool. So let me just tell you, I am still not there, figuring out my homeschool. I've been homeschooling for 10 years. I've homeschooled up to 6 kids. Right now I'm homeschooling 2, and I haven't got it quite figured out. Every day is feeling things. And a lot of it is I'm still 3 months later trying to catch up and get things back together from when I worked. It'll probably take me as long as I worked that long to get myself back together and get my home in order. And I say that like I don't know. I know that there's women who go to work and they say, "I don't know how you stay home. I could never do that." And then there's the other side, and we look at them and we like, "We don't know how you do what you do." Good morning, Darcy. And I like now realize like if I would stay in the school system, it would be at the expense of everything because I'd pour in because there's no way on a Christmas break, a spring break, summer break that I would ever catch back up. I would always be running on a deficit. And I feel like I'm still recovering from a deficit. And I'm still recovering from a deficit of of babies and postpartum. I'm still running that deficit. So anyways, let me tell you what we've been doing. And let me tell you, and you've kind of got a hint, what I've added. So I do a modified, this is my 5th grade's work. My 6th grader's somewhat closer to that. I do a modified style Robinson curriculum. I go based upon what he says. I like it, and I do some sort of that. So every day starts with Saxon. I came back to bed this morning waiting on a late daycare baby. You deserve to be tired. You're mama of many. That alone is exhausting. Absolutely. Always playing catch up. So I have them doing Saxon. I have the phone book ones. I have the hardback ones. And I find my kids actually enjoy the phone book. So we do the newer version phone book. This one who does it doesn't mind doing it. No. My 7th grader would like to go back to Christian Light Education. I consider Christian Light Education a smaller version of this one, and it doesn't bother me. I consider them to be about the same equivalent, just different ways of getting it. So I go with either Saxon or I go with Christian Light Education. And at the moment, there is debate on whether one or both of them want to hop back into Christian Light Education CLE or keep the big book. They can't decide. They really can't decide. We don't write in this book. I did test it out a little bit and let 2 of my kids ruin one of these books. There's no need for it, but I do let them write in this book. This is the book I let them write in. And the pages come out and the tests are in here, written in. I let them write in this book. So then all I need to do is repurchase a test and worksheet book. So I do that one. It's 9 a.m., folks. We're here. All right, so that's typically the first morning. I was doing it where I just had them do a lesson and then do 2 or 3 practice problems a week, sets a week. And I will tell you, watching what's going on with my older children now in school and taking college classes, they're doing all the problem sets because that's the discipline they need. So that's our math. And then this is kind of my grammar catch-all every day. All right, so first off, we do easy grammar. Let me grab the other easy grammar because I want to talk about both. I'm still here. I just have to walk around. Just walking around. Okay. I take apart my Saxon at the binding, hole punch in the extra margins, and insert into 3 rings. Oh, nice. I've even seen it where like they put them in page protectors. I I love binders, but at the same time, I feel like binders are so bulky. So I look forward to not doing that. All right. So my 7th grader does this one. My 5th grader does this. They're both by Easy Grammar. I absolutely love this book. She's doing the 8th grade one. She's 7th grade because I assume we'll take 2 years to do this book. We're not every day doing a ton of ones. She's right now, I think, in lesson 25, which means she's not diligently doing 5 days a week. She probably does 3 days a week in it. But it's a summary of doing capitals, a little capital, like here's a little lesson in capitals, and then, or here's like a little like learn what you need to work on, punctuation, parts of speech, simple sentences, and then about turning sentences into combined sentences, combining sentences. And then sometimes you'll have clauses, simple, complex, compound sentences. Having that time in CC Essentials, Classical Conversations Essentials, this is a great book. If you are doing classical conversations and you want that little extra for Essentials, I would do the 180 teaching lessons, daily teaching lessons by Easy Grammar for the grade that you're in. Has been phenomenal. My daughter, my younger one, didn't have that. And so I like the idea of this one. So instead of getting a daily mix, she gets a whole section in prepositions, a whole section in verbs and the different types of verbs. Just really deep doing unit style learning, where this one feels more spiral learning. But I like them both. I really, really like them both. I kind of wish we were done with this. I almost want to go ahead and purchase the 6th grade 180 teaching lessons and have her mix. Actually, I'm really probably going to do that. I'm going to pick up the next grade up for her, and I'm going to have her go back and forth. So it's not the same thing every day. She can do the 180, and I can take 2 years to get through that book with her. So that's what we do for Easy Grammar. Hi, considering switching from Christian Light Math to Saxon for my 6th grader next year. CLE prepared my daughter well for algebra, but the Saxon transition was tough. Number of problems. Format. Yeah, you can do it now. I honestly feel like Saxon and CLE do this really well. You can go back and forth with them without a problem. Getting used to the style is a little different, but yes. Okay. That's kind of grammar lessons, making sure we do grammar. These are 2 different levels. These are both by Pearson. If you're secular homeschool, you probably like my curriculum already. My kids are here that I babysit, and we're already having tons of meltdown. Lord, help me. Talk to you later. All right, I'll talk to you later. So these are both made by Pearson. They're actually leveled. So C would be about 3rd grade level. D would be 4th grade level. And if you get the same levels, the spelling and the phonics kind of correspond. And again, we just do this until the book is gone. Usually, normally I'd be like, oh, and now I buy, the next grade level. We didn't finish the last one. I'm not being cheap, but I'm being cheap. We'll just work through this one. I'm good. I've lost that 10 years in. I've kind of lost that ability to worry about the grade level. So what I'm liking about these, I'm going to pull this one out, lesson 22. There's 4 pages to each lesson. And this one, it starts with a story of interesting little things to read. So the one day they'll have a story, and I'm not quite sure what they do. If they do 3 pages in a lesson, or they'll do one. I typically ask for 1 page a day. Hi, when you do spelling, do you do the first day that you read it and then you do the next page, or do you count that as one day? All right, so like day 1 of it, they would do the reading in the next page. No. Then day 2, they would just do this page. Then the next day, they do the back. All right, so let me show you what I like about that. So number one, each lesson goes into a topic, endings added to base words. So this whole lesson, all the words are going to be based on that concept. And of course, this will practice some of it reading. And then they'll give you a tip at the very top. And this explains the logic behind how we spell. So in this one, it says an ending is added at the end of a base word. If the word ends in a vowel and y, add only the ending. So pray becomes prayed, and you just add the ending. If a word ends in a consonant and a y, change the y to I before adding the ending unless the word begins with I. So I like about this is that it's doing, it teaches the logic behind why we spell what we spell. And then it gives you the list words. It will give you a little practice thing here. So they do that in one day. The next day is pretty easy. And they do like a vocabulary meaning to the words, missing words. They'll always have sometimes they have crossword puzzles here. Let me pull up a different one. Let's see. Yeah, this one has a crossword puzzle, but it has to do with understanding the word meanings and understanding the concept and the way they put it together. And then on the last page is spelling and writing. So in the past, I didn't give much weight to this, and now I give way more weight to it. And this is a whole day. So they'll do a proofreading section, and then they'll write a section. They'll do writing in here. I'm going to tell you, the lessons just spew over. We don't do one lesson a week. We do one lesson in 3 days, if that makes sense. I don't do spelling tests. We just work in the spelling workbook on the concepts. I'm not doing spelling tests. So one of two things. You're going to be like, oh, no spelling tests. Why aren't you doing spelling tests? I don't get around to them. I just don't get to it. And because I don't get to it, it would then hold them up and they're waiting on me. So I'm just like, move ahead, just keep going. And the next aspect that I've learned, they don't do spelling tests in school. They're not doing spelling tests, which right or wrong or indifferent, I'm not saying. They're not doing them in schools. So I feel like I've got the halfway in the middle here. We are learning why we spell what we do, and I don't test it. We just work through the workbook. That's it. So that's spelling workout. And if you get the phonics book, and I had the phonics book years ago, and then I didn't have it again, they will line up. I don't ever buy the teacher manual for phonics book. It's like $50. I'm not getting that far into it. This one's cheap. The book, I think it's like $18-20 for this and the teacher workout or the teacher book. This one I think is $10-12 maybe. Don't quote me on it. But again, it's going to go into you're going to have a unit. So this is suffixes. We're just like little worksheet suffixes that I'm not having to find or print out. So this one's all on suffixes, and it has these little, just playing with the words and understanding how they go together, which then is really kind of being replayed in the spelling. And they have word searches in here, or not, crossword puzzles, and a lot of just, here's what you do, fill it in. So it works out pretty well for us. So that, in a nutshell, is the base of our curriculum. So we do math, we do an easy grammar lesson, we do a page in phonics, a page in spelling, well, 2 in phonics, a page in spelling. And then they write. So if it's one of their writing days and they're spelling, that counts as their writing. Otherwise, they're writing me something. So my 5th grader was very frustrated. She's tired of writing. The one day she wrote her address and she's like, that's a paragraph. I am done. And I'm like, what? It doesn't work that way, sweetheart. It's not working out. Who has a kid that will do that to you? Oh, and if you haven't done so already, give me a thumbs up. Help me out on the algorithm. But she did that. And she's been having a case of being very bored at home. That could be a whole nother topic that we do. And she was talking to her other sisters. So she's starting to get, oh, thanks, giving me the thumbs up. She's starting to get like an interest in the idea of horses. And she's interested in horses. Now, about her age, my other daughter was interested in goats. And my fifth grader goes to now my 16-year-old and says, I really want a horse. And what did you do when you were my age? And she goes, well, when I was your age, I didn't have any goats and I really want a goat. So I started reading and researching about goats. And then it made me prepared to argue my case and know what I was getting into to get goats. So yesterday, my daughter asked if she could just find and do research. So what I allowed her to do yesterday was she started researching about horses. And she filled up like 2 pages of notes of what they can and cannot eat. And what was nice about it was that night she got out her book and she explained to her dad the things horses can and cannot eat. Well, granted, it's not writing, but it's still part of that process of gathering information to be usefully used later. So I said, go ahead and do it. Maybe tomorrow you can go ahead and write a paragraph about what they can eat, and then the next day what they can eat. So, we'll go based on there. So I'm pretty lenient as long as we're in the practice of writing and putting our ideas down. Okay, so obviously, the books are not part of the Robinson thinking. So that's kind of where I strain away from that. But I do come back to his books. These are books I printed in the past. We've kind of talked about, I have to share the 3 styles of printing books. This is one of my first ones. There was a thing that came out that was like the Story Maker, my Story Maker, and it's really for binding hot glue. And that's what I did this one on. Isn't that nice? And I just folded them together and I hot glued them. And this is a file folder that I folded and creased. And I shipping taped the cover on there. And it turned out to be a nice book. And in the midst of that, I didn't always have paper. I might have done these 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't really know. And this is sad. So this one is a lot different, and I'm going to show you. This is, and you're going to see, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can really see, there's something going on in the background. You can't really see that, but I'm going to show you. This is recycling at its finest. These are literally folded papers. And on the inside is the Education Center workbook. Right, 13 kids and pregnant. Wow. So these are like worksheets. I don't know where I got them from. I had this stack of worksheets. And what I did was I printed it booklet style. And I folded it. And when I folded it, I just took the loose ends. And this is folded paper. So it's a much thicker book than it needs to be. It would be half the size, but it's folded. But I did the same thing here where I did the hot glue binding. And I mean, it's 8 years later. It's a pretty darn good book. And then that's a file folder. And then I cut the picture out and some packing. Or maybe I used contact. But I mean, I have to say I'm shocked. It's held up phenomenally. This is about the same method, except on the edges, I didn't do it quite as nice. I started to get in a hurry. And this is where instead of taking individual pages, I did little foots, the little booklets inside, and folded them together and stuck them. And I think in the end, I like this method the best, which I did 8 years ago. I think I did this one 4 years ago. But they're holding up. They hold up really well. And that's hot glue. That's hot glue binding. Phenomenal. And so I'm in the point where there's some books, older books, and I like the older print books. I feel like the writing is so much more advanced. Did I grab my Rollo book? Oh, here's another one. I think I told you about this one. I'm reading this book between my phone and live, and I'm doing this one with my younger kids on the right here. But some of the graphics, be aware, not all prints are the same. Google has cleaned up a lot, but I had to handwrite, and technology has updated a lot, that I had to go back and actually handwrite some of the sections in the book because they didn't come in clear. You can see I wrote them in there. And it was good because I found out they burned down the wigwam, and my kids built the wigwam, so I knew they were going to burn down the wigwam, so I had to move the wigwam because I wrote that section. But there's a lot of books that I like, and I find those books. When I find books I like, I typically don't print them, but now I do. I print out those back parts where they advertise for other books, and that's how they do it. I don't have an ink subscription, and that's a good topic to bring up because not endorsed, but I'm going to show you what I do because I want to show you. Well, before I go there, that's what we do. And one of the problems I'm running into is I'm too busy. I'm really not involved with my kids in our homeschool. It's just, here's your book, here's your next book, here's your next book, here's your next book. They're teaching themselves, which is awesome. But I miss the camaraderie. And I'll be honest, I don't feel, I've been doing it for 10 years. I just want it done and let's go on to other stuff. I have other things I'd rather do. And so trying to motivate me, I've been looking at different things. We've talked about this over, and some of y'all have brought it up multiple times. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And then yesterday, I did it. I didn't. Gather around homeschool. So just losing that lack of fluidity between me and my kids. I feel like we're like just ships in the night, passing through. And I wanted something to bring together. But my ADHD is at its worst. Um, I'm hoping we've done Fun School, and the lack of direction in it ended up being our demise. So there's very oh, you said, oh man, Trish. It's like, I don't get how that goes. But so we've done some, but I might get into if it's something that she continues, I might get her one and print it out. The nice part is it's black and white, so it's easy. All right, so I went ahead and took the leap. My ADHD brain loves the fact it's only 20 lessons. It's only 20 lessons. I might take, and it's like a month worth. Here's for a whole month. This is all you do for a month. I'm not going to do it in a month. It's going to take me 2 months, maybe 3. It might to the end of the year. There's 20 lessons in here, so we can move it as we want. Starting, I feel like that re-homeschooling, yeah. So, what I absolutely love. So I went ahead and bought it. What was it? Between $40 and $50 to purchase this. What it would come with is the teacher's manual, and it comes with a pre-reading, a beginning reading. It comes with like 1 before elementary, 3 elementary levels, and then a middle school and a high school. So you get all of those. And the idea is if I like it, I can come back in a couple of years and redo the unit. And when I redo the unit, I can print for whoever I have. And even if my upper elementary is here and she's here for high school, she can take it at a high school level versus just, she can come back through it again, which, right, motivation. We all need motivation. So I like that idea. And it really does that kind of classical method of revisiting things multiple times. I like that. For this mama who's bored, it is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So I used the comb binder. One of my videos, I have links to like Amazon for comb binding. I don't have much stuff for Amazon anymore. It is gorgeous. But anyways, I just used these covers were given to me in the past. I actually glued one together in the back. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. And I'm trying to do this while looking at the thing and I can't turn it. How to use it. Notes. I'm already putting notes in here. Let's see. Missing page. I can't do it like that. Give me a second. This is from Homeschool on. Gather round. Not a round, but gather round. Okay. These beautiful pictures. Look, they're just gorgeous pictures. The artwork in here, and it has that watercolor feel to it. It's just beautiful. Look at that, the birds in there. It's gorgeous. It has such a watercolor feel to it. So what I like about it already is it's only 20 lessons. Not a long commitment. I'm not stuck from here to the end of the year. I should be able to make it through this book. I like the fact that it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I like the fact that it's multi-level and I can reuse it, is what I like. So what I've seen so far, this is not a review. Because if it was a review, I would tell you that I've been using it or I finished it. I am not claiming anything. I'm just telling you my initial, like, wow. So it's by Rebecca Spooner. She's written some stuff for master books. Her levels are pre-reader is 3 to 5 years old, early reader 6 to 8 years old, early elementary 8 to 10 years old, upper elementary 10 to 12, middle school 12 to 15, and high school 16 to 18. So, but you place them where you want. And then she says what it looks like is you read from the teacher guide for 10 to 20 minutes, and then have your students work in their student workbooks for 30 to 60 minutes. So it could take about an hour. Her samples on her website is what sold me to buy it. So each one gets a notebooking page, a history page, a science page, a grammar page, a social studies page, an art page, a Bible page, a copywork spelling or writing project page, in geography in there. So what does that look like? All right. So in the beginning, she gives you space to write out your ideas and lessons, and to put down some notes. So the bald eagle, I would literally read this for the bald eagle. And the habitat and the diet. So, that maybe takes 15, 20 minutes. And the life cycle. And then so then at the end, you say this is your assignment. And then she gives you these like little tiny blue lines down here that you cannot see are the references. So you can actually go and explore more. And then she'll give you at a glance what's happening science notebooking. So for an early reader, early elementary, they would, dictate to parents, and they're going to be looking for diet, habitat, and interesting fact. An upper elementary would be doing diet, behavior, and interesting fact. Middle schoolers would be doing diet, habitat, threats, and life cycle. High schoolers, students will choose a topic to research and fill in. And then language arts. So she shows you, she gives it to you. Here is the topic, and this is the little icon. And then this is the answer key for each level. So I really, really like the way that's laid out. I'm going to pull my upper elementary since I've been kind of 5th grade oriented. I'm going to talk about the cost of printing this too in just a minute. I love this. She says, welcome to Northern Birds, but look how beautiful the artwork is. She puts a scope and sequence. So in language arts, you have Alice in Wonderland, riddles, idioms, Aesop's fables, writing sentences, proper nouns, common nouns, identification of nouns and verbs, research for writing projects, paragraph creation, reading comprehension of short stories, punctuation, vocabulary, spelling rules for double F, L, and S, a little bit of phonics, some haikus, a little grab box of everything. Geography will be state, several of the states, not all the states, but several of the states, some of the Canadian states. Because one of the things to remember, she is in Canada that writes this, but everything I've seen so far, she really does a good job balancing it. With the bird book, Learning Every Day says, with the bird unit, we really enjoyed Claire Pearson's stories, which I love. That'd be like Of the Farmyard People. They are so sweet, and Thornton Burgess too. Yes. So I don't have all. I need to go back and check and find Claire Pearson's, because I'm trying to put, like, I'm going to get there, like a book set there. Science. So we're doing the bald eagle, red-throat hummingbird, red-winged blackbird, mourning dove, American robin, eastern screech owl, raven, European starling, killdeer. And we have some killdeer here. No, we have kites. House sparrow, mallard duck, blue jays, black-caped chickadee, American crow, herring gull, goldfinch, Canadian goose, yellow belly sapsucker, whooping crane, and the trumpeter swan. And then they have a ton of stuff. All right. So it's beautiful on how it goes together. I miss feeling the joy in homeschool, currently drowning in classical conversations. I have decisions to make about continuing next year. I keep going. I like the structure CC gives me, but it drowns me. It's costly, and it feels like a tight jacket. Lottie, your phone. It just feels too tight when I use it. Thank you. It has that really constricted feeling in it. I like the memory work, and I like essentials. So I try to bring in that memory work, especially with my little kids. Bringing in that memory work was pretty easy to do. But I'm with you. I need to find the joy. So look at that owl. Isn't it gorgeous? I really resented CC for leaving me no more time to do interest-led subject learning. Yes, and a lot of busy work. All right, so you get a reading log. I don't think I think she could probably scale that a little differently. But I like the reading log, which is good because then they can put the books they're reading for CC in there. Several pages on that. You get a table of contents, which I don't know if that goes in the right spot. You come right off with this beautiful little bird to color. Yeah, challenge leaves no time. All right, so here is the notebooking page. So you get the beautiful eagle on top, and you get a couple areas. The middle school has a section in the bottom that actually has them write their sources, which works out really good. They go into social studies is the Great Seal and showing the eagle on the seal and talking about the United States. You get copy work from the Bible, which is beautiful. Yes, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. This is really cool. This is what I love. I don't know if you can see that really well. So it's a map of North America. It's just the United States and Canada. And over half the entire population of eagles the population is in Alaska. Find and label Alaska on the map. Find and label the following bodies of water. Which body of water is in the Gulf of Alaska? So you have these and you identify all these things, right? Not the memory work of over and over and over again, but it'll come back up the next time you do the lesson. This is an art lesson to draw the eagle. Let me pull up the other art lesson for the older kids. I should do a side by side. This is the middle school Isaiah copy work. Isn't gorgeous? I'm just saying gorgeous. Watercolors are so in right now. They have the same assignment for the maps, middle school and upper. So it's nice because they kind of come and go. Some of them they share. Same thing, but a different picture. or a different layout. You see, just a little different. Okay. And then that's it. We go into the red hummingbird, but let me go and pull up. But in the next one, there's editing. You know, here's what the editing looks like. They would edit here. Okay, here's the next map. Same map that we did before. And it says instructions. Look at map or atlas to find the Gulf of Mexico on the map below. Label the Gulf and the states that surround it. Label your home state or province and see if you can find how many miles or kilometers it would be for you to visit the Gulf of Mexico. It's 14 miles by road because that's where we go. Because we live on the Gulf of Mexico. And then it gives you this little tidbit. But I like it because I can be like, now go back and you've done that. Go fill in what you did last time. And we could really kind of make them carry that information daily. April says, I need the accountability CC gives me. Without it, it would read a book and call it a day. Yeah, I do that. So that's kind of it. It's this repetitiveness through the book of notebooking. Like here's the mallard buck. You know, we changed our notebooking style of it. So it's a little notebooking. It's some copy work and spelling. You might end up talking about the Olympics now. That's based off, you know, we're writing draft papers in language arts. We're writing and we're drawing. And that's been one of my things I've been thinking as I've been thinking about going forward is and moving forward, I want my kids to sit and copy artwork, you know, and attempt to draw it and just to spend that time focused and working on that. And I like that it's included in the unit study. So I'm hoping this works as something longevity. I'm kind of giving myself something to look forward to. On lesson 11, I actually plan to buy the American government. You know, by lesson 11, I would know if I want to do the American government. And then I'm going to infuse American government, and we're going to go between the two because my daughter was taking civics, and I think it would be a good way to keep it together. We used American government study from Homeschool on during the election. It was a perfect, quick addition to our busy CC work with tons of good information. Thank you, because that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's talk about printing and what it costs to print this. So number one, that right there, this is my cheap little printer that was gifted to me that is so out of date. It is an Epson Stylus NX330. 330. It prints one-sided. So if you notice, I'm going to do on the back. There's nothing on the back at all because I printed it one-sided. Makes it a bigger book. I know. But I buy this pack of ink from Easy Ink 123. They have them you can buy them directly from the website or on Amazon. I actually found it compared on their website, they're more expensive than Amazon. I don't know why, but it's $40. And on $40, I get 2 sets of each color, and then I get 6 sets of the black, because the black you typically go through. When I printed this up, I'm just going to tell you, out of $40, I kind of estimate it to be 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say $40. I'd say $8 worth of ink. Let's just call it $8 worth of ink. So I used $8 worth of ink, and in printing all of them, was less than a ream of paper. So a ream of paper is $6. Maybe if you get the good paper, $6. So between that miserable little thing and this, $14. $14. Now, I have this machine. So this is not that spiralizing one. I'm not that fancy. This I will show you is older. Is old. My mom used this when she worked 30 years ago, when they put together reports, and I've inherited it from her. I have some smaller ones if I wanted to use, but that's how I make them. I buy these in sets of 100 at a time. So I have big boxes. These are pennies. And then the covers, I was gifted a set because she's like, oh, I found these. You can have all of these. But you could use cardstock to make the cover. So I will say, let's just be generous, $15 to print these. Now, it took all day. The printer's slow, like really slow. And it's now acting up because when it runs out of paper, it tells me it ran out of paper and I have to cancel the whole print job. And then I have to keep going again, start all over. But I don't start over. I just figure out what page. And I will say, what is phenomenal that Rebecca did in making these, the page number corresponds to the PDF page. So if I left off at page 90, I can type in 91 to 122 and we're good. So $5 a book, I consider nice, to have the PDFs, to print them out. It's inkjet, it's not laser. I personally prefer laser. Oh, and this is just, I took the paper, I trimmed it, and I glued it to the front because that's all I had. I could not get my printer to print on cardstock. So, I have my limitations. I think laser would be so much prettier, but in the end, I'm going to enjoy it for the minute. Oh, it's so pretty. It really is just so absolutely pretty. I can't do it enough. I don't know if I can show it. And I feel like the light is just, it has beautiful hues of blue. I'm really excited to get it in here. We have a couple bird sanctuaries we can go to. My neighbor has a hummingbird feeder, so I look forward to, we'll just go and sit on our porch and watch the hummingbirds. So we're trying it out. And if it works, my next one is going to be American government. And that will probably be all I do this year because I'm not going to work. And my thoughts are, we'll do math, we'll do the bird study, and then we'll kind of not do my, these little workbooks that day. We'll probably still do some reading, or unless they're into research. And that's enough. I'm probably not going to do the reading because there'll be so much to do in one lesson. And other days when I'm not doing this, we'll kind of, they're balanced between the two. And it will depend on what I have going on. So let me know what you think, how your experience has been with these. But I will say, I think making them beautiful is such an encouragement to me. It's such an encouragement to me. All right. I don't know if I have time to talk about seeds. It's already 9:40 and it's about time to go. But I will say, I'm really excited about this. Oh, there's all my dirty laundry. I haven't been doing it. It's my kid's job. Let me stack this up here so I can have a nice space to put the computer on. It is a lot of info, and I'm impressed with flipping through so far, and I'll let you know as time goes on. I'm impressed with how she strings other information. I didn't expect, like we're talking about mourning doves, right? Well, let's see. So then we talk about in the mourning doves. Let me go back to the beginning of mourning doves because I put there. So of course we do mourning doves. So then we talk about habitat behavior, life cycle, my question about it, and what did I find as an answer. We go to Isaiah, but then for language arts, we do The Ant and the Dove by Aesop's Fable, which is pretty phenomenal. And then we get into nesting areas, again, labeling things. Listen, I got, and then but it's interesting how she threads in social studies. What's the difference between migration and immigration? Let me get into the democracy. She pulls in democracy into there. So there's really like the tidbits of social studies in there is really beautiful. The tiniest says, we tried this unit study with Gather Round and thought it was too much bookwork, and some of the bookwork didn't fit what you were actually studying. Yes. What ages are your kids the tiniest? I ended up doing my own unit study that fit our family and way cheaper. And that's what's awesome. I like it, and I might come to the same conclusion. I'm just tired right now. And I love birds. So it kind of works out. Okay, and yours are 8 and 9. That's good to know. Because I was wondering if they'd be younger. I'm getting the good and the beautiful vibe from this, correct? Yes. Yes. The perfect blend, because there's parts I love about the good and the beautiful. I'm like, can I buy it and just rip parts together and drop the rest? I love that about the good and the beautiful, but there's some stuff I'm just like, no more. And I love the richness in reading in it, and I love the colors and the artwork. It's just been beautiful. So we'll see. I've talked to some. So last night I brought my like little carrier. I can't even begin to tell you how easy it is to carry. I'm like, homeschool should only fit in here. I'm not. Prove me wrong. No, I'm not really being that way, but like this is going to be my bird basket for now. And one of the things I'm looking forward to, if it's a good fit, what I gather for it, I can put on my bookshelf together, and when I come back, it's ready to go. And I can go through and keeping the notes in there for me on what to consider. I love birds and I enjoy birds. We have a lot of birds here. So, and I feel like we're getting a little taste. Now, is this my enough? No. I know that we're just touching on things. I'm not trying to go in depth. I'm just trying to be motivated. All right. So I'm going to move you over here. We learned a ton about birds and love bird watching. The unit certainly inspired me to minimize school, make it my own units. See, and that's what I love. Like, that's the power. That is the power in it. I had to get the big cake. I'm excited because she's supposed to bring out botany this month, and I really, really want the botany. My math kids is lining up number magnets 18 at a time and asking me what number he made. I love it. I like the botany. Oh, I should not be putting my computer on here. It's kind of warm. I'm looking forward to the botany one. The other aspect too is 4-H has a bird record book, and we've just hatched out chicks too. So we have a bird record book, and I think I'm going to try and pull in the bird record book so we can get that done for the year. And at least those two girls got that done. So, I mean, there's that aspect too. I did want to share that one. Yeah. All right. This right here, I put this in. It's going to be skinny because I've got to go. I got to do stuff. I have a meeting to fight for an IEP to keep speech therapy going. And I'm going to be honest, I love plants way more than my kids. So I'm a little bit like, I really want to get into the botany because I love plants. But anyway, this I was not going to get. I've seen it a couple of times, and I'm like, I don't need that. I'm not going to get it. I tried every which way from the Dollar Tree to come up with something. And in the end, I came to have it. So you probably recognize this. I've seen these for years. Walmart has a cheaper one. It was mixed up, but I had to put the colors together. And, you would put your photos and things here. And I bought this for seeds. So I bought this for seeds, and I like the idea that I can, let me get my tomatoes. I can open this up and I can look at all of my tomato seeds. I can keep all of my tomatoes in one spot. You're going to see I have so many different ones. One of the things I'm trying to definitely move into is open pollinating or heirlooms so heirlooms have been going. We'll see later, tiniest. Heirlooms are ones that have been going for generations. Open pollinated, they haven't really been saving the seeds for generations. So I even have in here, I gotta be careful not to give you my personal address, but like this envelope here, I bought from online and they sent me Everglades tomatoes. So, and she wrote me like a lovely thing inside. So about tomatoes. So I kept them in there. So I'm keeping my tomato seeds um, in here and just trying to keep organized what I've got. I keep dumping seed. I'm not gonna lie, I dump seed. This right here, no. This here is everything I've planted so far the last 2 months. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a waste. I mean, some of these I spent 25 cents for, and I didn't spend a lot of money on, but some of them I spent $1.44 or $3. Seeds can be expensive. So I planted all these. I have all those little tiny things. Sometimes I post them on Instagram. And my goal is to track what I plant. And one of the ways I'm doing that is the little Dollar General plug. I love some Dollar General. I found this beautiful book at Dollar General. It's beautiful paper. It was like $3 or $4. It was just absolutely incredible. I can write the date on here and the subject. And I've been trying to do a good job, like what I purchase. And then even tracking like what is, like when it comes to oregano, how many seeds would be in a gram? So I can kind of get an idea of how much I buy and how much I plant. I'm not doing the best job of that. So one of my goals is to sit down with all of my packets and put them in my book so I know what I planted and how it turned out and what I liked and didn't like about it. So I can plant with not chaos, because I feel like when I throw seed out, it doesn't mean that I actually am getting that. I'm new. But then with the way things went last year, I just it was hard to find seed. So I want to make sure I have seed, and I want to move to an open pollinating seed so that I can begin saving my seed. That's my goal, is to save my seed. And the stuff at the Dollar Tree gets you started, but I don't know how much of that you can save. Now I will say, like, but it says like my sugar snap peas are open, are heirloom. So that's why I kept all the little seed packets, so I can come back and figure out like what do I have going, because I wasn't paying attention to that at first. So I bought these. I thought this was neat. Now this is Walmart. I'm gonna say it's not like the best at clasping, but it was $15. Um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 16 of these little things, and it all goes into this big container, which is really, really nice. I was at Goodwill, and they were trying to sell clear ones of these for $2. So when I realized at the Goodwill they're going to charge me $2 for this little container, I decided to go to Walmart and go ahead and purchase. So a quick run through, and then I want to tell you about my favorite seeds. This is like my pumpkins and I don't think melons, but just pumpkins. I think it's pumpkins and pumpkins. But one of the ones I'm excited to get started, and I plan to start soon, is the Seminole pumpkin, because it grows down here, and I have to have it planted by next month. So I have pumpkins. I have flowers, my flower ones. I've never been a big flower person, but then realizing how it just does so much better for your garden to have the pollinators come in, I've been much more eager to do them. And I've loved having them cut in the house, even if it's a marigold. These are my spices or my herbs. Then I have this is like my jackpot one. This is my Joker card, my wild card. I have goji berry seeds. I picked these up. This is a Baker Creek I was able to buy from Echo Farms. I put Echo Farms down there at the bottom. They're cranberry hibiscus. They're roselle. And I actually have one of these planted from last year. And then I have like my echinacea and my chamomile in here. So kind of things you would make tea or grow a fruit with. This is wild seeds. I even have like just little packets of wild seed. And I'm trying to figure out when I start saving my seed, how is the best method to save them. Squash and zucchini and gourds. My greens, so mustard greens, kale are in here. These are all my root vegetables. So radishes and carrots are in here. Melons and watermelons. All my melons have their own little case. I've yet to actually put labels. I need to put labels. These are my cowpeas and beans. I even went ahead and I bought the pigeon pea from Echo. So that's the tree that's out of India that makes a bean that you can eat. And I have corn in here, probably because I didn't have a place to put the corn. Eggplants, onions. I have a whole just of onions and peppers, tomatoes, green beans. These are all just different types of green beans that I bought. It's busting out. And then cucumbers. All right. Those are kind of my categories. I have okra. Love this stream watching from London. Oh, of all my places of buying seeds. Now I bought from the Ace Hardware. It's an Ace Hardware. I bought from the it's a seed and garden store. And they write it like this. This is in the past, this is what I would get. And this whole pack was $1. And I'm going to tell you, if I weigh it, it's like 3 to 4 times as much as I got. And I have to say, financially, buying from the home and garden store is phenomenal. Financially, it's so much cheaper. The varieties are not nearly as there as these little tiny packets, but I have, I might buy. This is all of my southern peas for this summer. So this is our pea that we like to eat, and it grows in the summer best. This is a mustard. Actually, whole packet. It's just so much cheaper to buy it that way. And I love going that way. But one of the things I really want to do is moving into seed saving and finding what will work in my heirlooms. And I like to buy the Baker, which I showed in one of my packets, but I bought it out of Echo. I like to buy the Echo seeds. They're a ministry. You can go online and order them. This is the wild tomato. It's also called an Everglade tomato. It has about 75%. I have some tiny ones growing. They grow very slow, but they become prolific, and they're the tiniest little tomatoes going. So I found in my one Tractor Supply, my other Tractor Supply did not have them, was this. This is Seeds of Change. So I like Echo Farm, but I've been really impressed with Seeds of Change. It looks like they're out of Rancho Dominicas, California. I probably said that wrong. They produce food. Like, they have a grocery store product that they sell, like quinoa and organic rice and things like that. But they sell these heirlooms, and most of them are heirlooms or organic, but they're open pollinating. And so I bought the pack for Culinary Herbs that includes slow bolt cilantro, type of basil, oregano, and a type of parsley. They have a tomato garden one, and I think these were $7. I went online to see if I could buy them directly online, and they were expensive, and you had to buy them through Amazon. So this one is a Martin Giant. It's semi-determinate, so trellising is optional. Yields up to 50 tomatoes per plant. There's a Chadwick Cherry, a Cherokee Purple, which I have some, which is an heirloom. A Wisconsin 55, which is a juicy, firm, ideal slicing, cooking, and salads. One of the last improved open pollinated varieties released in 1950 before hybrids became popular. So they're open pollinating. There was another one. This is herbal tea garden. So chamomile, peppermint, lemon balm, and rosemary seeds. Again, open pollinate. I believe they're all open pollinating. I've not seen any of these that are not. We really need to home garden these days. Prices of things are going up. And then I picked up a butterfly garden packet also, which is fancy mix calendulals, butterfly milkweed, cosmos sensation mix, and a fairy bouquet. I'm loving these. Did I pull out one of my other? Let's see. Here is one of their packets. And what I really like about it, I'm going to tell you, there's not a lot of seeds in there either. It's only 100 grams, so I'm not sure how many milligrams. But it's the seed packet contains moisture control. And what I like is the seed packet, you rip it off at the top here, but then right here is like a Ziploc seal. So in reality, when you grow these, you can save the seed and put it right back in the packet that you got it from. And they took the time, and here's another, just took the time and care that they printed the information underneath the rip line. Because one of the things I hate the most is I'll get a seed packet, I'll take it apart, and then all the good information, it's hard to get that information to stay there. So I'm really loving these. And they do a program for veterans gardening. They get veterans acclimated back in, and they do a program for them. So I'm loving these seeds a lot. I think I have in my green beans. And I mean, I have some big packets too. I've been buying the heirloom ones by Burpee also, and you can buy them in a pack. I buy them in a pack, and I just open up the pack and I put them in. I'm not keeping these in the fridge. I have some that are in the fridge for just in case. I bought some with the way things are going, just in case. I bought the pack ones, but I've been talking to the Home and Garden, and they said that they had somebody that had bought green beans, a pound of seed for green beans, and it lasted him 10 years. He had so much seed, and now he's like, I'll see you in 10 years. He came to renew his purchase. So I'm going to open up this one. I'm going to open up this one and show you. It's just the same packets. It's just the same packets that I would buy. It just comes in the clever little thing. So now I can just put them right in here. This was $7 to purchase this, and I think these were $3 or $4 to purchase them singly. So buying these little packs save you a lot of money, because that's $12 worth and it's half the price. So I definitely have to say with that, go check them out. Seeds of Change. Looking through their website, I really liked it. So that's all I have. I will get with you Monday. Hopefully we'll start something. And I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and you will get a notice that I've gone live. I go live Mondays and Thursdays, typically, unless life is happening the way it's happening. And hold on, baby. And otherwise, I'll be here. So if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, and just sharing the journey of the trenches, within the trenches of motherhood, and all the things that it takes you and all the places you go. Until later, I will see you. Love you tons. Bye.